Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are here for session 3 of qualifying night here in One Hub Racing. I am back once again. Of course, my name is Ivan Mike, but joined with me in the commentary booth is Harvey. Harvey, how are you doing, mate?
Very good. How about you, Mike?
I am doing fantastic, and see, we still have Jamie in the party, and he'll pop in and out a few words every now and then. But what's called be me and Harvey taking you through the action out on track, and we're gonna see if anyone can topple that time by Zhao in session 2 of a 24.9. That is the time to beat, and my god, is anyone going to be able to do it? I have no idea, but we're going to find out as we are loading into the session now.
Yeah, so some quick times already so far in the first two lobbies, but then again, some of these lobbies that we get into could have quicker drivers, you never know. You could either see sometimes hitting low 25s, high 24s, or even, if they don't realise in time to get the laps out, could be 26s. Not what you always want, but might happen.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's going to be interesting to see if the 20 drivers here follow the same pattern of what we've seen so far in going out on their first laps on a set of the mediums. We've seen a lot of installation laps, sighter laps on a set of mediums. Of course, a lot of drivers are coming back for another run. Obviously, Cam Rules being one. I believe Oles is coming back for another bite of the cherry. Fozzie Bear coming back. Forza Brendan coming back as well. And Posh Evans and Westy coming back for another crack at it to improve their times. And it's going to be interesting to see who is going to come out on top. The first man out on track is Colin R. Mason. So he'll be taking us on a first lap, and he is in the Alpha Tauri.
Yeah, he is. Some recognisable names here. For example, I'm just trying to think of some that I do know. Moment. Jonas had him last season in the 3 tier. I was commentating it. Had Matthias too. And I don't think I had anyone else actually from this session last season. Which was very surprising.
And in the last session, obviously the champion from last season, ERT, Lawrence, had a pretty good lap time. I believe he was a 26.4, so that's quite an impressive lap time for the P3 tier champion last season.
Incredible lap time from Lawrence, and we wonder if he'll be back for session 4 to try and improve on that. But for right now, we're focused on session 3, and Colin R. Mason is going to be setting the first lap, so we'll stay on board with the Alpha Tauri for the duration of this lap as he takes us on a lap of Silverstone once again, starting the lap, crossing the start finish line, heading down in towards Abbey and through there, no invalidations as we head through farm, and now breaking down into village. Very important to get the turn in right here because it sets you up for the loop, and of course traction out here through Entree is going to be crucial down the Weldon Straight, DRS wide open as we head down to the first sector split and in towards Brooklands, and it's going to be a 27.3 first sector split for Colin R. Mason as we head through Brooklands now into left field. All about traction out of this corner, and is good traction so far from Colin through the right hander of Woodcut, heading down the National pit straight, heading in towards Cops Corner, and 8th gear, but doesn't carry at maximum speed through Cops as we approach Maggots and Beckett's now. And this is where you gotta be absolutely on it. So easy to lose a lap there, as a big back end snap there for Colin R. Mason on the exit, and that is going to be an invalidation for him.
Not the best start to the session for Colin. Obviously, he's in there. Obviously, he was sharing the box with us last time, and now he's going to go and have a go at qualifying, mate.
Absolutely, as the Ferrari of Oshin out there on a flying lap right now as he is coming through the loop, as we got the first time coming in, and that is Nicola Solo with a 26.4 on a set of the medium tyres. So he's one that could be threatening Zhao and Mitos in terms of the fastest laps that we've seen in qualifying.
Yeah, he is one of the quicker drivers that I have seen before in some other events too. I'm just trying to remember. It was if I remember correctly, TVC maybe, the PC event. His team overall competing for it. He did get, I can't remember if he raced it or not, he might have been just a reserve, but his team was up there with the times. He was also up there with the times if he did race. But Ocean winding through Stowe, unfortunately validates the lap.
Yeah, just exceeding the track limits on the exit of Stowe there, and obviously Nicola, as you said, very quick in that event that you were referring to, and very quick again, as Andretti with a 26.4, as I believe you saw something with Evans going up into P3.
Yeah, it was P2 when he crossed the line, and Andretti did get that lap time in. Mind you, the only one in the top 4 to be on the softs right now, and it's not that promising considering where Nico is on the mediums. Only 100th ahead.
That is 100% indeed for Andretti, but it is the beginning of the session. The grip is at its lowest right now, so there'll definitely be improvements later in the session. Fatality right now on a lap coming through Brooklands in the left field. As I didn't actually clock the first sector split, but we're starting to see times beginning to come through now from a lot of drivers. All's coming back for a second crack at it. He's done an initial lap of a 29.3, only ahead of RDR Specialist, formerly known as Aero Specialist, down there also on a 29.3. So 4 hundredths of a second separating those two. Fatality now in the middle sector split. Let's have a look here, and it's going to be a 1 minute 3.3. So it's not going to be up there in terms of the fastest lap times, but it should give him a good banker, a good sighter here if he keeps it all valid through Stowe, which he does. And now through the Vale and Club section, and it will cross the line, and we'll see what he can do as he comes across the line. It's going to be a 27.1, good enough for P4 at the moment.
Yeah, not a bad lap from him at all. As we see, the tyre for Nicolo is switched on to softs now. He's not out the garage yet, but he is putting the softs on for his next run. As I've just seen Delta Hunter go up to P9. If I remember last season, I'm pretty sure he was on PS at one point.
He used to be a PS. He used to be a PS driver, then he switched to PC last season, obviously, and he was the P2 tier champion last season.
That's why I remember him now. But one other thing about Aero Specialist, being Aero, had Aero in his name to start, and then midway through the season got signed by RDR, a team that you're actually in currently, Mike.
Yeah.
Also, you would see in your team you have the Welsh guys, whereas he's on the other side of the pond.
Yeah, I mean,
over by me.
The thing is, we used to be what's called the Esports Wales teams, but after the teams shut down through there, obviously we created Red Dragon Racing, and obviously decided to not limit ourselves to using Welsh drivers only. So it's open to all.
Yeah, but one thing I did notice last season,
up into P3, they were 26.6.
Not bad for him, but one thing I did notice last season, Specialist being from this side of the water, Northern Ireland. Not the only one in this lobby that is Northern Irish.
You gotta love the Irish. They have good banter, the Irish, though, as on board with Colin Mason now as he comes through Cop's corner this time. He's going to be looking to get through Marcus and Beckett without invalidation, and we're going to see if he can make it through there. And once again, a big snap of oversteer on the exit of Maggots and Beckett's. Yeah, he's absolutely kept it well. Heading down now towards Stowe. Again, it's going to be testing the track limits. It's going to be using as much track as possible, but keeps it all valid now into Vale and the club section. And we're going to see if Colin can get himself up there in terms of the top times, and it's going to be a 26.2 opening lap from Colin R. Mason.
Not bad at all. Currently just over 2 tenths ahead of Nicola, who set his lap on the mediums, yet he was on the lap by now. Unfortunately invalidated. I think I was on the exit of Cops that he did, so unfortunately that lap time won't count. I think he may have also had a spin because he's 8.9 seconds down on his delta so far.
Yeah, he's backed off right now. He's going to get ready to go again is Nicola. So we'll actually stay on board with Nicola because we predict that this lap will be in the 25s and it's going to be a big lap. So we're going to stay on board with the Red Bull for this entirety of this lap, and we're going to see how Nicola is able to improve on that fantastic medium lap time of a 26.4 and is absolutely flying through Abbey Village Farm and of course the loop. Now all about the exit here through Entree, DRS wide open, and down the Wellington Straight we go. First sector split. Only a 10.5 up so far. Exit of Luffield and
Woodcote.
Yeah, he's just gone through the right hander of Woodcote now, heading down towards Cops, and absolute full commitment through there. Doesn't really lose any time whatsoever in terms of scrubbing off speed as we head into Maggots Beckett's, and is absolutely full commitment through here. Exit of Chapel, DRS wide open, and I see the middle sector split. He's half a second up, so this is on course to get into the 25s. Andretti improves with a 26 flat. So ERT Andretti getting himself a improved lap time, and he's going to be looking to improve even more. But Nicola Solo in the final sector, final couple of corners to the line will come Nicola, and it's going to be a 25.9. Good lap there from the Red Bull.
Yeah, he was looking at a 29 after his second sector split, being 4.5 or almost 5 tenths off. I'm just keeping an eye on Ocean at the moment, setting a 27 for his first sector split.
Matthias brought in his lap coming into the pits.
Almost. He's already used 50% of his battery. He turned it on just going into Vale, so he didn't use too much on his second warm-up lap. But second sector splits of 3.2, which is not bad at all. He might get a little bit of slipstream from the Mercedes driving in front of him. I think that would be it's Brandon.
Hey, yeah.
But through the final chicane and up to the line, big snap of oversteer. Yeah, still set at 27. So not the best, but also not the worst.
Yeah, he knows that's a big time loss. I think that's lost him about half a second there, so he knows he's on the cusp of the 26s.
At least 8 tenths, to be honest.
That big jump, I was watching board that big jump, that switch. I thought I was going to spin it round, but yeah, he's definitely improving that lap time. There's a lot of guys, we've noticed in the early session, there's a lot of guys in these high 27s, low 26s. That seems to be a popular time range at the moment.
We got Nathan in the chat saying Shame I could only manage a 26.7. Right now a 26.7 is a very competitive lap time, so I wouldn't be too disheartened by it as it currently stands. Jonah is a second up. Jonah a second up, looking to break into those 26s through Stowe now in the Alpha Tauri, and we're going to see if Jonah can get himself up towards the front end. Big snap as he takes a little bit too much of the inside curb on the entry into the club section, but he is going to improve. He's going to get himself up into 6th with a 26.6. So all the 6s coming out for Jonah.
Yeah, as Nathan did say, currently only the top 6 are under that 26.7 threshold. Even with Vitality, who had just set his lap, isn't under it. He is just in the 26.7s currently.
Yeah, on board with...
if you want a 26, you're top 9 currently.
Yeah, absolutely, and was on board with Porsche Evans. That was a very scruffy final sector from Porsche Evans, but he improves by half a second. So it just shows how much you can gain going from a mediums to a set of softs. And yeah, there's definitely going to be more time there from Porsche Evans. He's going to be looking to improve on his 25.8, I believe he did in session 1, if I remember him correctly.
I think it was a 0.9. I think, I'm not 100% sure. It was either one. It was definitely a 25, but yeah.
So we'll have to wait and see from Porsche Evans, see if he can improve. As it currently stands, trying to go on board with someone who's on a valid flying lap. Jonah into the pit lane, and Delta 8 off his first sector. Fatality, I believe, possibly going to be peeling off into the pits as well. RDR Specialist out there on a flying lap, 2 seconds down in the first sector. So looks like we are waiting for someone to get themselves underway for another run here.
I think Matthias may have just started a lap.
Jump on board with Matthias. Harvey, do you want to take us through a lap here with Matthias?
Yeah, just getting that Alpine out of the way for him, going through the open entry down the Wellington Straight. The US is now open in towards Brooklands. You want to brake as late as possible. Wind that 50-meter mark, just dropping it down to 5th gear from 8th and dropping it down another gear to 4th, getting back on the power gradually, and then out the exit of Luffield, and then through Woodcourt down the National Pit Straight, getting up to 8th gear. Then you want to take Cops flat if you can, lift off slightly for Matthias there. Unfortunately, he's invalidated his lap on the exit.
It's unfortunate for Matthias, and he's going to be having to reset and go again, but interesting to see if we are going to get some improved times from these guys from Rydog downwards, as I believe Rydog is coming up to Stowe now, so we're going to see if he can improve on his lap time. And that is a very wide line through Stowe, and definitely not the ideal line through there, so Rydog will definitely have time in that particular corner to improve on, but he's going to come to the line, and it's going to be a 27.2, so no improvement there from Rydog. Ali B on a lap in towards Maggots and Beckett's, and I haven't seen his first sector split. Was you able to jump on board with that? And see
if I remember correctly, 1.5 tenths up through it, and he's now 4.5 tenths up.
Absolutely fantastic improvement so far from Ali B as he heads down in towards Stowe. 7th gear, dropping down to 7th. Andretti improves with a 25.8. Big improvements now beginning to come through as we approach the 25s from these guys. Haven't seen anyone threaten the low 25s as of yet. Ali B though with a 26.7 into the top 10 for Ali B.
Yeah, not bad lap at all from him. I'm just trying to see if Lukey is on a lap 27.3, but unfortunately he's just invalidated 3 cops, which has ruined that set of tyres. Currently does not have a valid lap on the board currently, or I think I've just seen Cam go up to P11.
Good lap there from Cam Rose. He will be looking for more time, as I believe the other second Red Bull of Nicola potentially coming to the end of the lap, and it's an improvement. It's a 25.7 from Nicola.
Seems like those top 2 at the moment just swapping positions every time they do a lap.
Yeah, absolutely. As trying to figure out who's next going to be crossing the line. I think Delta is just going to get himself started on a lap, and we'll see what he can do. He's currently on a 26.6. as he's just
Ushering up
been
to
dropped down.
P7.
Yep, Ocean up there now with a 26.5, dropping Delta down to 8th. And we're going to see if Delta can respond here immediately. And this is going to be a big lap from Delta. Just over 10 minutes to go in the session. You want to get a good lap in now, because obviously when it's less than 10 minutes to go, that's when you're really going to notice the time gains.
Yeah, you're also going to notice that there's a lot more traffic. He's just equalled his PB, by the way, in Sector 1. Right time, 27.3, heading through onto the National Grid Street. There could be a little bit of slipstream being gained from one of the cars ahead of him. That would be either the Alpine, or I think it is, just trying to find the other Alpine, it's Westy, or the Ferrari of Luki in front of him, but he's currently just under a tenth up. You also, if you get a lap time in now, you've got less chance of traffic, whereas everyone wants to be out towards the end of the session. Through into Vale, braking at the start of that entry curb, getting on the power, up to third gear, fourth, and coming across the line out of club. Now it's going to be a 600th down on his previous best.
Yeah, didn't have the best of runs in the final sector. Forza Brendan now coming to the line. Obviously, he's currently up in P6 with a 26.4. Forza Brendan, and it is an improvement. It's a 26.2 from the man in the Mercedes, and obviously he needs to be getting himself a better time, because obviously in the first lobby he unfortunately disconnected from the session, so he only had half of that lobby to get himself geared in. So it looks like now we're starting to see the pace of Forza Brendan.
Yeah, as you say, that audio specialist up to P7 with a 26.4, 7/10 improved on that one lap alone.
Yep, fantastic there from RDR specialist. As this, honestly, the gaps in the mid pack in this session incredibly close in the mid 26s. It's going to be very interesting to see the improvements from these guys as we head deeper into the final parts of this qualifying session.
That was a McLaren spun. That would have been Fuzzy Bear. Not too sure what happened there. Maybe just slowed down to let cars pass because of the mouth coming through. But just yellow flag there in Sector 2, National Grid Street, and into Cops. But he's gotten going again, so probably just getting out of the way for the cars.
Yeah, driver that does need a big lap time here, F1 Matthias, currently down on a 27.4. Obviously, invalidations have ruined him so far in this session, but a 10th and a half up in Sector 1. Good improvement so far from Matthias.
Yeah, currently sitting on a 27.4, being 1.5 tenths up. Could currently just see him sitting in the same place, but you would need a bigger improvement if he wants to even improve by one place.
Yeah, absolutely. As we go through Maggots and Beckett's now, Ice Dean in the chat saying, is this the last one? No, it is not. We will have a fourth session coming after this session is over and done with. Matthias coming towards the end of his lap. I didn't quite see what the middle sector split was as I was reading chat, but Matthias, I believe, is still improving as he comes through Vale and now into the club section, and he will cross the line, and it is going to be a marginal improvement for Matthias. He moves up ahead of Wesley.
Yeah, not into the 26s yet. Currently, only 4 drivers haven't been in the 26s at all yet. Unless you're counting Konzo and Lucky, which haven't set valid lap times yet. Apparently, Konzo's wheel isn't working, which is why he's not got a valid lap in yet.
Yeah, and obviously, Oles improving by half a second, getting himself up into P7. Fozzie Bear is around and in a wall, and obviously cutting a bit of grass there through Maggots and Beckett's and on the exit of Chapel. As you mentioned, Konzo not not able to set a lap due to technical difficulties with his wheel. We got Andretti out there on a lap right now, and he's marginally up in the middle sector. Going to get a little bit of a slipstream from the McLaren, so might help him in terms of this final sector. Oh, it takes a lot of the inside curve, and that just scrubs him out wide on the exit, and that does not look good for Andretti.
No, he would need under a tenth, well, just over a little bit of a tenth, if he would want to beat Nicola again, because those two have been the ones swapping between 1 and 2, except for, I think Colin got it at the start of the session, but since then it's only been Andretti and Nicola up there.
Yep, and we got the Mata in 5th at the moment on a 26.3. He's coming up to the middle sector splits. We saw an improvement there from Lukey, 26.3 from him. The Mata marginally down on his lap time.
Would need 39 thousandths if he wants to get ahead of Lukey, or 39 to match, 40 to beat, through into Veal, breaking at the start of that entry curb, just around 60-metre mark, getting back on the power, 4th gear, and putting the overtake back on P3 for him.
Yep. Good improvement
only
there
76
from
thousandths. 76 thousandths, but that's 3 places gained. Just shows you how close these guys are at the moment.
Absolutely.
Lap times.
Absolutely, as Matt finds a bit of time and improves his lap time. We got a specialist about the beginning of the lap, but we'll come back on board with him as we watch Delta Hunter finish his flying lap as he heads into Vale now through Club. 3rd gear, upshifting into 4th, into 5th. To the line will come Delta, and it's a marginal improvement. And it is enough to get him ahead of Oshin, but definitely a little bit more time out there for Delta to go and find.
Yeah, well, Oshin has been told that a hot lap was apparently slower than overtake, which I'm not too sure about that one, to be honest.
Well, for me, I'd have it in for me personally, and I would keep it in hot lap for the entirety of the lap, and on my first run I would assess on how much ERS I have left over to deploy, and then kind of use that tactically, maybe out of entry, or maybe out of Vale, or club section, and try and get a little bit of deployment in these slower corners.
Yeah, I've just seen the chart from Urshin. I can't see the apex because of the lap counter and positions. I would maybe say that would be because you haven't exactly set the OSD to be right. If you think about it, there are 4 different types of OSD settings. You've got race, qualifying, practice, and I think the hot lap mode as well in the supercars. If you only set the race one, it won't change for your practice, which is going to mess you up a little bit more.
Yep, 100%. And we got a fatality to the line. He improves by 2 temps, goes ahead of Delta Hunter, so improvement there from him. We got Nicola out there on a lap right now, coming to the first sector split. Nicola currently leading the session on a 25.7.
There was a half one there. I think there was also a half going into the runoff area on the exit of turn 3.
Yeah,
Not
unfortunately.
too sure what's going on there. Oh, it was an Alpha Tauri spun, sorry.
Was it an Alpha Tauri? I could have sworn I saw a Haas going spun.
I'm not too sure. I've just also seen Cam cutting the inside of turn 5. Not too sure what that was.
Well, Cam did just finish a lap, and he did improve it. He's now on a 26.6. Nicola Solo, 600ths of a second up on his lap time. So it's going to be
not bad at the moment for him.
Yeah, exactly. Not bad whatsoever, but let's see if he is going to be able to improve whatsoever. But he has ran out of deployment on the run down in towards Vale, so it's definitely going to hinder him as he comes to the line now. And he does marginally improve, but if he had a bit of deployment left, he could have seen bigger gains there.
Yeah, Wesley's just improved by just over 2.5 tenths, but unfortunately, it's only one position gain, but he has got himself into the 26s, and he's also just completely ran off in Abbey, or also known as Forum, because there was a Forum down there, and the only way to get onto the track is actually through the Forum.
We're on board right now with Andretti, see if he can respond to Nicola So as the first sector split marginally down for Andretti. We are seeing minor screen freezes with drivers leaving the session. Cam Rules retires from the session and leaves the session. So this Cam Rules done for the session. Lukey done for the session as well. As a lot of guys out there on their final runs. We've got about 40 seconds to go in the session. Should be enough time for everyone to get around to get onto their flying laps, and we're going to see if Andretti can get himself on the top. And no, he's half a second down.
He should have enough time though to get to the line again. Problem is he's got under 40% of battery left, meaning a mistake somewhere on the previous lap has messed him up. But Nicola has come into the pit lane, he knows his qualifying is over, and he's been able to retire. Andretti being 3.5 tenths down, checker flag has now just fallen fatality, cannot set another lap, neither can Conzo because they're in the pit lane. Shane up to P3 with a 26.2, well Colin has gone with a 26.1.
Yeah, Colin was around a 10 quicker. The Mata a 10th up in the first sector. Can you find more time in the middle sector? There's the question. Middle sector split. He's about 2 tenths up. This could be approaching a 25 if he can hook up the final sector. Through Stowe goes the Mata. And now he has just two more corners to think about, and all about the traction here. Gets a bit of a scroll on the exit, but to the line, and he does a 26 flat. Forza Brendan out there, he's on an invalid run.
Not a bad lap at all from the Mata, but audio specialist 48 thousandths down, could not improve it anymore.
Ali
has just kept it in the line. There was McLaren in front of him. I don't know which, I think that would be Fozzie Bear. He was on a lap, I think, but Ali, P8 was 1.3 tenths up, or 1.4 up, and that will be all laps completed.
Yeah, Ali lost about 2 tenths there with that big moment that he was able to save, but I mean, there is another opportunity to get a better time in session number 4. But we'll run you through the order for session 3. Is Nicola Sola, who completes a lap of a 1:25.7, 25.8 for ERT Andretti. The Mata on a 26 flat. 26 flat for Colin R. Mason as well. Oshin with a 26.2 in 5th. Forza Brendan in 6th. Lukey in 7th. Ali B in 8th. Porsche Evans 9th. RDR Specialist 10th. Fatality 11th. Delta Hunter in 12th. Cam Rules in 13th. Jonas in 14th. Raydog in 15th. Westy in 16th. Matthias in 17th. Oles in 18th. Fozzie Bear 19th. And obviously Konzo. We hope that he can get his wheel sorted and that, because obviously one more session to go and then it'll be done for the evening. But yep, that is going to bring an end to session number 3, guys. We will be back in around 10 minutes for session number 4. Make sure you guys don't go anywhere. I'll be here. Iggs Harvey will be here, and obviously we will still have Jamie in the party as well. So we'll be back in around 10 minutes, guys. We'll catch you in a minute.